Thank you very much. It's appropriate that with a food-themed event, we start with a company which is called All About Food. Some of you may know already that we are involved with retailers. Obviously, we have quite a significant retailer here today, so I thought I'd put a deal on. You get 2 for 1, Phil and me.
I'm the free one. The cheap one. Yeah.
Phil, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Phil Lynas. I'm originally from Yorkshire. Worked in brewing and then with a lovely brand called Phileas Fogg, which a few of you may remember from very old days and snack days. And then moved across to Lancashire to work for Patax as sales and marketing director, and then set up All About Food in 1999.
Cool, thanks Phil. My background's slightly different. I've spent 24 years on the retail side, so I worked Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Asda. Spent 6 years in Hong Kong, and then had the pleasure of joining All About Food 9 months ago in June and taking over the role of MD. When Phil spoke to me about it, I had to look up Skelmersdale on the map, to be fair. But what happened was I saw a company which was small, fast-moving, but also with a great purpose. And what you see up here is our purpose. So it's achievement through delightfully different experiences, and that would be the thread of our presentation today. And we thought, well, what's delightfully different for you, audience today? Well, there's something under your chair you can take with you, which is one of our new products we launched last year. That's good, but what's better is you've got 2 Yorkshiremen presenting to a bunch of Lancastrians. Now, I'm feeling a bit awkward about that, but let's move on. What do I mean through delightfully different? So what I saw when I came into the business was something which is unique. This looks a bit sort of comical, but every one of our 30 foodies has a top trump card. Everybody's got a deck, which basically what that means is everybody can see across the business who does what their 3 big things are for the year, and most importantly, what their favourite food is. Yeah, and it's endemic. So we're just reprinting this year. We do them every year, but we're public and they're in the office as we speak. That's mine. Phil hasn't got one anymore because he's farming in Clitheroe. But you also get that experience when you walk in the office. It's just over the way. If anybody wants to come over, feel free. We'll walk you around. It's actually modelled on a village. And you walk in, you've got a village green, you've got the village hall, but you've got a village shop, you've got a restaurant, which is obviously synonymous with our business, and also you've got a gym, which is important to me. I did find it quite sort of dusty when I moved there. I feel as though you wasn't quite using it as much, but it's just been refurbished. But it brings to life what we are as a business, which is all about the culture. Phil?
So there's a few just wondering what we do. What's your favourite restaurants? Nando's, yeah? Any others?
That was a loaded question.
It was loaded, wasn't it? I think I must have asked somebody to say that.
Who was that?
Favourite Italian restaurant? Oh, no, never mind. Okay, so these are the brands that we represent. So we set up in 1999 with Nando's when they had 5 restaurants. Nando's now have about 380 across the UK, so obviously that success that they've had has been quite instrumental in our growth as well, which has been fantastic. We've also worked with Pizza Express, Gourmet Burger Kitchen, a new startup called Reds, which you'll find in Leeds, Liverpool, Manchester, and also Oaxaca. The product underneath your chairs is from Oaxaca, which was a launch that we had earlier this year. So we have been based in Skelmersdale since 2012. We started in 1999 in my daughter's bedroom, and we have had 17 years of uninterrupted growth in this location. We employ 30 foodies who work for us, and the first question obviously has to be, well, why are we in Skelmersdale? So we started in my daughter's bedroom, we then moved to Standish, we then moved to Chorley, we were on Buckshaw Village for a while, and in 2012 we were looking for a new location. We have foodies in our business who live in Peak District, in Lancaster, in Stoke, in Liverpool, in Manchester. So finding a place that was good for location and for contacts. Sorry?
And Yorkshire.
And Yorkshire, yes. This man commutes across the Pennines nearly every day. Location is critical. I think location is also a real benefit and a real strength for Skelmersdale. We've got fantastic motorway links. We've got great local colleges, local universities. There is a real strong northern manufacturing heritage that exists in this area. It's not, with all due respect to Edwin and his team, the heart of the most retailers. Tesco and Sainsbury's, the big retailers, the big 2 are down in London. So we do spend a fair amount of money on train journeys, it's fair to say. Less since I left, because they all go second class now, apparently. So location was very, very important for us. What is important on that, though, is, and I think it's maybe something to talk about at a later stage, is that last mile. And we were talking to Adrian from West Lancs College this morning. It's okay having great motorway links to here, but if you're in Skelmersdale and you want to get to White Moss Business Park, how do you get there in the morning? That last mile to get to work for someone who's local here is something that we need to think about very, very seriously. Value for money plays a great part. We came here because it was good and it was cost effective for us. That's a really simple business issue. We found a place where we can afford to pay a square footage, pound per square foot, that we thought was appropriate. However, what that's done is not said, well, great, we're going to take that money and put it into our profit bank. What it's allowed us to do, and Colin has continued in the last 12 months, is to invest in our culture and in our people. Our business is very much a people business. Unless we have that cash and that equity to invest in our people, we wouldn't have been able to build the culture and the credibility of the people that we have in our business. But also Skelmersdale offers us an opportunity for growth. Our landlord is very supportive. If we grow out of our premises here, then there's scope to build, there's scope to grow, there's new locations that we can move to. So that offers us great opportunity. And this is a quote. As we moved into the treehouse in July 2012, this was a quote from one of our marketing managers at the time. Amazing, the best place ever. And to create what we wanted to do at the time, and take this in the right respect, is to build the nicest house on the dirtiest street and then attract people through that philosophy into the Skelmersdale area is really important to us.
Great story, Phil, but the real reason is...
I live in Parbold. And it's near my house, so I don't live there anymore. It's a bit longer commute now, but you've ruined my story now.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Yeah, I'm off.
Don't worry, we're not moving to Leeds. We're just about to sign up for another 5 years. But I think there is a good story in terms of why Skelmersdale is important for All About Food. The reinvestment into people is phenomenal in the business, and that's the key lever it gives us versus being based in London. Challenges, I put up a map here. Some of you may have seen this before floating around the internet, but it's a Londoner's view of the UK. You may see up here we're thieves, or it's a miserable walking holiday associated with the northwest. So no offence meant, but that's sort of a Londoner's view of the UK. But for us, it's quite serious because actually 90% of our business that we do is down here. Not necessarily on the retail side, but casual dining. So the brands you've seen up there, virtually all of them are based down in London. So we are very loyal fans of Virgin West Coast when it works. That's important for us because it's a key thought for us in the future. The good thing is you see Manchester emerging in the last 10 years as well. But that's still only 10% of the new concepts. So that's quite a drain for us, but we're not going to change our platform. And secondly, finding the right foodies. So Phil's already mentioned it. Of the 30 we've got, there's only 3 coming from the local area. So we pull from north of Preston, across to the Pennines, and then further south, Cheshire and Macclesfield that way as well. And that's conscious of us because we want to bring people into the area. So for this year, we're starting an apprenticeship scheme. We're bringing in 2 new recruits. That will start first half of this year. Funny enough, speaking to Adrian from West Lancs College earlier, so a great connection today. So we're looking at bringing 16 to 18-year-olds into the business and then creating the pipeline from a local talent rather than to have to pull in from further distance. So those are the sort of 2 key challenges we face as a business. Despite that, we've got 30 people who are fully engaged in the business. And it's a culture which Phil created over the last 17 years. So he's just going to speak about the culture of the business.
We're great believers in our business that we're not bringing in skills, because skills you can train. We're bringing in people who've got the right behaviours and attitudes. Behaviours and attitudes are a part of you, and they're very, very difficult to change. They're also difficult to mould. Giving people skills is relatively simple. You can teach skills. So what we're looking for in our business are people who eschew the values of the business that we've created. That's pride, passion, belief, integrity, and family. I'm not going to take you through each of those elements, but we sat down with our 30 foodies, and we asked them what those words meant to them. We were quite keen on those 5 words. But everything that sits beneath those values, every word that's been written about the business has been written by the people who are within the business. And they're very simple lines like, be the best you can be. Trust in everybody else's motives. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. They're really simple things. But because the only asset we have is people, because we are a virtual business, we don't manufacture anything, we don't store anything. It's all third-party manufacturing, third-party storage. We don't own the brands. They're all under license to us. So the only thing we have as our equity and our assets are our people. So investing in the people in this area in particular is really, really at the heart of our business. And those 5 values are right at the core of what we do. In addition to that, we also want to make a difference. We have 30 people who range from 18 to me. I'm probably the oldest. I know Brian might be a little bit older than me. We'll have that conversation. I'm not saying Christine's older because she'd tell me off. But we, as a group of people, want to invest in the local community, but also internationally. So through Nando's, we are working with GBM, which is Goodbye Malaria. So we're working with malaria nets and with partners in Southern Africa to try and eliminate malaria with our Nando's partners. And you'll see some of the people here who actually went down to spray houses in townships to see if they can get rid of the malaria virus. We involved ourselves in Comet Relief. So this is our finance director, you'll be pleased to know. Looking at his best. He dresses like that every day, unfortunately. But we want to do things more locally. 3 or 4 years ago, we helped develop a school garden for one of the schools in Skelmersdale, and since then, we've tried to get further involvement in the community. And in December 2015, we had our best event ever. We told our foodies they were going on a Christmas party. A coach arrived at the door of the offices. The coach took them 3 miles to the arts centre in Skelmersdale, and at 8 in the morning, they were told they were cooking dinner for 75 carers in the afternoon, and they decorated, created a quiz, cooked all the food, cleared it up, and at 4 o'clock that afternoon, the dance lesson came in, and it was a normal art centre. For foodies who'd been used to going to Dublin to the brewery and nipping across to Manchester to get hammered on a few tequila slammers, it was quite a shock to find out that was their best Christmas party ever. We followed that through with mug clubs. We support the CVS, and we host mug clubs in our offices because they are quite a unique venue. And Colin's continued that this year with Birchwood as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think we look at it from various levels. So what's local, what's regional, international. So obviously with Nando's, some good work going on there. We'll raise money for that cause over time. But almost more meaningful is we've struck up a relationship with Birchwood Community Centre in Skelmersdale, which is helping disadvantaged youths to come back into society and get them into a home. So pre-Christmas, whole team for a whole day, 4-hour makeover of 3 rooms, new beds in every room. We'll continue that this year. But then interestingly, those teams themselves have actually now taken on a new initiative. They've actually opened a junk food cafe, which is interesting for us because it's taking food waste from the local retailers, bringing it, and it's a pay-as-you-feel proposition at Townhouse Community Centre. So it's creating a virtuous circle. It's giving them business skills, it's giving them social skills, and it's reducing waste as well. And I love that initiative, and we'll continue to support that. So as much as it's the big donation up top in terms of corporate investment, it's the investment of time and people. And what you'll see on there is a picture of the finance director, the commercial director, and myself, all hands on, doing the stuff with the rest of the team. It's not being done by someone else. And that's what attracted me to business, because that's an achievement through a delightfully different experience. Yeah. So on that, we'll finish. And I guess one quite challenge we have for you as a group and the broader community is, what are you doing to make Skelmersdale delightfully different? Thank you.
Thank you.